All right, so I had my intro done, I guess, and I showed you all how to make that pomegranate syrup. So here we are. We're ready to make our cocktail. This is a take on a classic bourbon cocktail called the Millionaire. I think I'm going to call it the Thousandaire because after all this is over, some of us who may have been millionaires may find ourselves in the position of being a Thousandaire. Or maybe those of us who are thousandaires might find ourselves with a few less $1,000 as we secure these provisions, deal with our layoffs, unemployment, etc. Anyway, to the cocktail here. It's basically a whiskey sour. So what we're going to do is fill a mixing glass with some ice. So you just want a good ice in there. It's going to help aerate this cocktail. Now for the finished product, I've already got my muse here. We have a rocks glass with a ice sphere. A lot of these things have become very popular with whiskey drinkers who want to put a chill on their whiskey, but not necessarily dilute their drink as much. They're great in cocktails, just has like an elegant look to it. You should be able to find these if you don't have them on Amazon or Target or wherever. If you don't have one, they're only a couple of bucks, but regular ice will do. We're not gonna trip over twigs and stems here as we do this. Anyway, bitters are kind of like your salt and pepper of your cocktails, right? They're not always the most noticeable thing, but sometimes, sometimes you want a cocktail that's more bitters forward, sometimes in the back. Sometimes, like in this one, it's going to kind of take a back seat, but it's just going to open up a lot of those other flavors. So these are Pashad's bitters. If you don't have them around, you can omit them. Or if you just have some Angostura or something, that would be fine too. But I just think Pashad's probably the best bitters to have sort of for this cocktail. So we'll do 2 healthy dashes. And then we're going to want some fresh lemon juice. And I have a lemon here. Let me get this out of the way. You can see this thing's like the size of an orange. I'm only going to use a half of this, and it's still going to add quite a bit of tartness. Almost all cocktails are a balance of a few things. Bitters, like we just discussed, there's almost always some type of citrus. The acid really wakes it up and helps balance out the next ingredient, which is going to be your sugar. So your syrups, if you're using a syrup, you almost always want to have some form of acid, or it's just going to be cloyingly sweet, hard to drink. So press this lemon juice in here. So that yielded us probably about a half an ounce of lemon juice, and that's what we're looking for. Toss this out. So next we have is a jigger. So when you're making craft cocktails, you definitely want to mind the balance of the drink, or it's just not going to come out correct. The ingredients are going to be out of proportion. We're going to find ourselves, it's too sweet, too tart, too boozy, maybe too watered down. So that's not going to stand on its own. So here in this container, I have the pomegranate syrup that I prepared. We're going to measure a half ounce. Now, almost all jiggers have a spot where we'll show you the ounce levels, and some you can buy different sets. We'll go from like a half ounce up to 2-3 ounces. They even make little measuring cups. Those are very useful. Those are a little bit difficult to come by right now, but anyway, so we've measured a half an ounce of our syrup. I'm going to add this to the drink. And for something like this, a call level bourbon is fine. Frankly, in a cocktail, it's going to be shades of gray difference. If you use something a little more top shelf, is it going to be a little bit better? Maybe, but why are we throwing away our good booze on what's going to be a great mixed drink with just a standard bottle of bourbon? So I'm going to do 2 ounces of bourbon for this one because I think maybe we could all use 2 ounces of bourbon versus a standard 1.5 ounce pour. This is that other ingredient that's, of course, important to a cocktail, the booze. So that was 1.5 ounces on that side, so I'm just adding another 1/2 ounce just to really send it home, give us a nice drink. All right, so now we're going to go for the business end. I always tap the top when I put my mixing tin onto a mixing glass. It helps form that seal. Now, some drinks, if they're all booze, are stirred because you don't want to bruise the spirit. You're going to really hurt the mouthfeel of the drink. It's going to be a little gritty from the ice and, just from not properly doing your thing. So this guy right here, we're going to just shake the crap out of it because when you have citrus in a drink as a mixer, you're really trying to wake it up. You want that citrus just to pop. So you want to give it just a really great shake. Just over the shoulder, that way you're not throwing your weight around. You have control over what you're doing. Like a good 10 to 20 shakes and you're in good shape. So when you need to break the seal when you're done, just a little tap on the side, your glass should lift right out. You can catch the excess drink as it drips back down. And one more thing, let me grab my strainer. I forgot to bring it back. So here we go. We have our cocktail strainer. And we're just going to strain it right over our drink. And if you look, you can see that great head that you have on the drink, this kind of foaminess. Now that is a product of shaking and waking up, if you will, your citrus. So to garnish this one, I'm going to do kind of a standard sour garnish because, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything here necessarily. This is a Y peeler. This is one of the oranges I have on hand. Usually you're going to use a navel orange, but whatever oranges we have right now are going to be just fine for this project. So I always just go right over the drink and peel, and you're going to get some of those great natural oils and natural bitters off of the rind of that orange, right? So we have orange rind. I'm just going to take it. We're just going to make it look nice. I'm just going to twist it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take a pick here that I happen to have, just a little clear prism pick, and we're going to get a cherry out. Okay? So now, if you want to really make this pop, you just take your folded orange swath, just stab it right through your cherry, and then you just have this great garnish. Right? And now we have this fantastic cocktail. Maybe when I go back to the bar, we'll put this on the menu. So I hope everybody enjoyed watching. My instructions now on how to make this, and hope you learned something. I hope you at least are having a little bit of fun watching me, getting a little virtual bartending in. If you like, in the comments, take a picture of yourself after you made the drink and sipping it, and we can all kind of do a virtual cheers. Anyways, a toast to the hardworking people in this country right now that are keeping things running. Toast to, the workers that we used to treat as non-essential. Your gas station employee, your grocery store clerk, they're really working their tail ends off to keep things running, and we appreciate everything that they're doing. Your first responders, obviously, healthcare workers, all these people who are not at home, they're working double time and overtime. So cheers to them, and to the rest of us, those of us who are unfortunately furloughed, our jobs maybe not be secure right now. Those of you who might be struggling a little bit because you were already paycheck to paycheck and now you don't know what to do, I'm going to cheers to you. Cheers to a better tomorrow. Anyways, let's all have a drink.